Hello and welcome to the Genlock podcast. I am a furry, Mediocrity 4.
What? We have a furry on this Discord?
No, oh no.
Oh
I couldn't
no.
I couldn't think of anything.
Gosh.
I,
Man, I will say
I
this
couldn't
though.
I couldn't think of anything, and on my screen there's like a Cammy's little head poking out above Lily's picture, and so I just thought of Cammy and
There's
thought
a
about the
what
fact
now?
that she's a furry.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
I'm still kind of curious why it just glossed over the fact that she's a furry. Also, by the way, I'm high powered, and thank you, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan, for making me super woke last week.
Pourquoi?
Don't worry.
Yes, that was glorious. So we have two other people make our introductions.
Lily.
Hello, it's your average straight woman. Hello.
That's a lie.
What?
What are
Alright,
you
you
gonna
wanna
fucking
know?
Inquisition?
You want to know? Fine, I admit it. I don't know how Genlock works. It uploads your mind. What does that mean? If you upload your mind, then shouldn't you still have your mind in your body? What does that mean? What does he mean upload your mind? He uploads your mind, but stuff still happens. How do you know what happens in it when he uploads it? It doesn't make any sense. You can't upload minds. You can't upload minds. Fine, you can copy minds and you can erase. But you can't upload minds. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You upload your mind and it stays in your body. I don't know. Someone tell me. Someone tell me how Genlock works. I need to know. I need to know how Genlock works. Please. Please just tell me. I need to know. Someone explain it. It's confusing. I don't know. How does Genlock work?
Coop, I'll
How does it
explain to you.
work? How does Genlock work? Please. Please, someone tell me. I need to know how Genlock works.
Your mind is as invaluable and exchangeable as a fucking nude. That's
And
why.
that was
I
a
was wondering-
JoJo's reference.
I was wondering how
And-
long you would go on with that.
Goodness gracious.
So,
Oh
just
no.
just as a PSA to anyone who's watching JoJo's and doesn't know how King Crimson works, the best analogy I could use to describe how King Crimson works is King Crimson basically is tearing pages out of a comic book. So that's how King Crimson works.
That just raises more questions than answers.
No, it's a really powerful stand that gets blown the fuck out.
Yeah.
It doesn't really get like. Well, actually, it's kind of an asshole. Fuck it. We're not here to talk about that.
We're not here to talk about JoJo, mostly because I have not watched part 5 yet.
Should though.
You need to
We're
get on
here-
it because it's pretty good.
Well, no, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for part 5 to end, just like I did with part 4.
I'm gonna watch JoJo sometime.
Well, the next time, yeah, we'll watch it eventually.
So, this is episode 7 of Genlock, and we have one more episode left, and so I feel like I'm in the minority of having actually kind of liked this episode more than some of the other episodes, but yeah, the reason why Dude isn't here is because he dropped the show, and I do not blame him. As far as I know, he's caught up, like he's still watching it, but he just like has nothing to say. There's nothing to talk about.
As far
and
as
this
he's
is-
concerned.
Yeah, and this episode is
Beer back.
kind of something that should have happened earlier, like in episode 1 or 2, at 3 at the very latest, and that's about it, really.
I mean, I like the episode. I definitely feel that media's right. Whatever, we should have gotten some of this spicier info or earlier, but I don't know. Like, I still enjoy Genlock. I just feel it has a problem with being it's bland. That's the opinion that I've come to recently. It's not like bad and it's not good. It's just saltine crackers.
Pretty much.
It's like I don't. It's not it's not a chore for me to watch this series. Like and I don't know if this is like an issue with the 22-minute long runtime, or they're just trying too hard to get on Adult Swim or the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, we're kind of all at
There we
a
go.
at a
Took some
loss.
steroids.
Yeah, at a loss for this episode because just not. This is gonna be a. I'm saying it now, but every time I've said this in the past, I've been fucking wrong. This is going to be a short podcast, I think, because what happened is the Genlock team is on the run after their base got fucked over by Nega Blackman and his
Yes.
crew. And
We
his,
get a
and his,
prolonged
and his
exposition
posse.
dump that was well
Yeah.
delivered.
Yeah. So he's like able to track them down through the like Genlock net, which that I don't think that makes
It's
any
hard to
sense
not
for
get
me.
doxxed whenever you share the same
Yeah.
area network,
Because
essentially.
I get like, because it's not like how Genlock actually works. Like it's how the mind sharing works. Like they're making they make it sound like the whole process of uploading your mind is the same process as like sharing your mind as we saw like in the last few episodes with like Val and Kazu, and then Val and Cammy before that. But that's two totally different concepts that I don't understand how Nega Black. Okay, one, I don't understand how Nega Blackman can track them down if their brain is uploaded into a different mech. And two, I don't know if that's possible, then how did they not already know that Nega Blackman was a thing before he ever showed up?
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. That it's like you're staying 4chan, but you're just kind of reading threads, and it's like, wow, this is fucking autistic part. That's what was doing the whole time. To the whole crew there.
Yeah,
He was
you're
like,
you're kind of cutting out for me.
hold up.
Same.
But yeah, like so the I don't know, and it's just
Anyway, is that better?
yeah, that's better.
Okay, so well, basically what was going on is that he was basically just lurking in the background and not saying anything, is how I interpreted that. Is he was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna watch these guys." But
Basically, hunting or reconnaissance over immediate pursuit.
That would kind of explain the whole like you haven't shut up since your birthday thing from was it his first appearance or his second appearance that he said that to Cammy?
I don't know.
Second appearance, I think.
Second appearance. Okay, yeah, because I don't think he talked in his first appearance. But I just know he said that, and he said like something else that was like a pot shot at like Val or something, and then he did the whole like let the good times roll, and which was an obvious call for Chase. And so we get kind of a cool aerial fight, I think. This is actually this is actually the first time that I've actually liked the art style of Genlock. Because that's always been like one of my biggest complaints is how everything looks, and we get this moment where Chase in his mech is like sitting on the ground, and he's like covered in grime and dirt and wear and tear, and it looks
And
really
bullet
good.
holes.
Yeah,
it looks good.
It looks really good. It's the best looking little bit in the entire series so far, in my humble opinion. We get kind of a neat little aerial dogfight as the Union chases them, and then they go. Cammy is the one who finds out because she's the actual main character of the show. I swear to God, she's the one who figures out how they're tracking them. We do find out. We do have confirmation. Our theory was correct that the robot butler is in fact has a copy of the Doctor's mind inside of him.
But not an
So,
exact copy.
yeah.
It's just like
It's a
whatever-
rudimentary copy.
whatever the fuck that
It's David Tennant with a dumber sense of humor.
It's David Tennant speaking into a empty soup can with a string of twine attached that runs all the way from wherever the fuck he lives to somewhere in Austin, Texas.
It's beta David Tennant XE.
It's like him, but worse.
It's like him, but recorded in a submarine on 14-gauge copper wire.
It's like him, but with my setup.
Ha. Kill yourself.
Yeah.
Media.
not-
if I
not
land
until-
that new job,
not-
the
not
first
until,
thing to do is buy you a new power supply unit so you can put in your 1080 Ti
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't kill myself until I fuck at least one redheaded girl. Like that's life goal right there.
I
I
would just settle
yeah.
with having sex once first. You gotta aim. You gotta small steps.
Yeah.
You gotta small steps. That's how you eat an elephant, is one bite at a time. You gotta work your way up to fucking a redheaded chick, or you can just hire a prostitute. I don't recommend this because it's illegal in most of the United States.
It's also expensive.
Ha. No, it's not.
Cool.
What? I mean, it depends where you go, but still.
Yeah.
You're speaking from experience.
Don't answer that.
The silence is deafening.
I can't. I am legally and for the sake of my career not allowed to answer that.
I will neither confirm nor deny this statement.
You can plead the fifth. It's okay. I see right through you.
And then we get what else? Oh, Henry, the scientist from a few episodes ago, who's played by some big YouTuber that I've never given a fuck about. So, a big YouTuber.
I actually like Henry. He's a breath of fresh air. And I like how him and Cammy are playing off each other because they're both fucking nerds.
Oh yeah, the first scientist that greets them.
And
Says the
she
nerd.
is 17. Which is legal in Texas, so
Get
I
out.
guess.
Get out. My state is not your scapegoat.
Hey, don't blame me. Blame
But it's
Rooster
such
Teeth.
a good
Blame
one.
Rooster Teeth for being like, oh, we won't have any underage like panty shots, but then filling Ruby up with panty shots and being like, oh, but they're all 17, which is legal in Texas.
But then they go real woke and it's like you can't have panty shots, whatever. They don't have hips in nether regions.
You can't have panty shots if you have ruffled tulle skirt in the way.
That's the deep
Taken.
friedest woke I've ever
That
heard.
is the most absolute of absolute territory. Is the absolute territory that doesn't ever end.
Damn.
It's the endless vague frontier of panty shots. The
think
void.
I just like did something in my brain that was not supposed to happen.
But then we get
we have a
we
team
get-
meeting
yeah.
too also.
Yeah, we have a team meeting. We get the doctor's ex-wife, who is a black chick with a nose ring, because that's totally professional in a
I
live
think she's
environment.
supposed to be Indian.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's.
Yeah,
supposed to be
Ja
Korean.
sounds either Arabic or Indian.
Yeah, I'm reasonably certain she's supposed to be a street shitter. Yes.
Oh, also, Pakistan eternally BTFO'd.
Yeah, you unfortunately they lost. this
Can't even
round.
shoot down out-of-date Russian export fighter planes with semi-modern F-16s. Get out.
And we also get Matt Hallam as a generic CEO man who exposition dumps all over our face with a bunch of superfluous backstory bits that should have been as part of the character introductions, like back in episode 2, and then they decide to take the fight to the Union, and then the episode ends.
So here's a question. Whenever it comes to CEO man, is he a Bill Gates? Is he a Jeff Bezos? Is he, dare I say, an Elon Musk?
He's
the
not going to be
unholy.
any Elon Musk.
He's the unholy love child of all three. Is what's gonna be the real kicker.
Well, the only way he'll be Elon Musk is if they portray him as being a bad guy.
Or
Which,
smoking a joint. You never know.
no, Elon is not well liked among the type of people that are in charge of this sort of thing. He's too edgy. He's too much of an edgy boy, unfortunately.
Elon Musk is just more of a benign dipshit. Bezos is more.
No, he's not. He's actually our savior. He's going to move us all to Mars and get us out from under the thumb of the reptilians that run the government.
Yes.
I'm dead now. Goodbye. Bury me. Death by lizard government.
The only person at Rooster Teeth who seems to like Elon Musk is Joel Heyman, and
does he own a Tesla?
I don't know.
Well, then he's not a real Musk supporter.
I just know he like retweets stuff from Tesla and Elon Musk all the time.
So I will say this. Sure, was it like exposition dump and was it like, was that information that we should have gotten earlier? Yes, but in all fairness to the episode, I do appreciate just like how the CEO's just like, yeah, y'all are my investments, so I'm just gonna dig through y'all's personal files real quick, so you're gonna have to deal with it. And then he's like, but it's strictly business, so I don't care about y'all's past or whatever. So I just want to know who's employed, who I'm employing.
True capitalism, right there.
Well, yeah, with Yaz, it brings up an interesting point. How she ousted her family. She ousted her family. Now, I don't like that they're like, oh, she ousted her family as intellectuals. Like, oh, only smart people can... anyone who's smart isn't allowed to be in the union.
It kind of fucking... it's like a soft nerf to them.
Yeah.
It's a dumb premise. The only thing I could really say to back that up is that, at least in some regimes, I mean, you do, or in some, I guess, like more so revolutions or regimes that take power, I mean, like centers of learning, intellectuals, or more so like educators that would actually, question their rhetoric and logic.
Well, here's the thing.
Those I can see being targets, but they also took scientists hostage and plan to commandeer them for their own projects. So it's kind of a question of, why wouldn't her parents either be taken alive, and we don't have enough context, but it's also how inconsequential is that knowledge?
Here's the thing, is that one, there's multiple kinds of intellectuals. Her parents were very likely liberal arts majors of some sort, and therefore not very valuable to the Stalinist regime that is apparently taken over. And two, this is actually
or if you want to make comparisons to Weimar Republic Germany, as all the people at the Frankfurt School, and my hands cannot be wringing themselves together hard enough at this moment, ran away from the escaped and found amnesty in the United States, and the rest is history.
Oy vey.
Wow.
Meep.
We are receiving no shekels on this podcast, by the way.
Obviously not. After the whole Frankfurt School thing.
What?
No. Any shekels we could have gotten have dried the fuck up now. Good going.
Just Google it. Just Google the Frankfurt School.
Yeah.
I'm kind of afraid to.
You should be. And so, what else?
We also get some knowledge too about the side effects of mind melding. Which is
that you lose your individuality and all of your memories flow together into a fucking singularity.
Not to pull a floof, but it's like the ending of Evangelion, where they all become like just one person and stuff.
It's kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame. Dancing mind melding doesn't give us a giant woman. It just gives us amnesia.
It's not amnesia. It's like the opposite. You remember shit that didn't even happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like how there's like.
Like Val learns how to play guitar from Kazu.
Yeah, I do appreciate that they've thought of at least put in some sort of side effect. I mean, we did say from the outgo to try to keep like ragging on the show for, borrowing, stealing, copying other shows doing, because I mean, in reality, is there really any creative thought anymore now? Because if you look hard enough, someone probably might have thought of it before you did. But I do like how they decided to put that in where, I mean, even Kazu seems to be apprehensive about doing it again, because I mean, if you lose, it's kind of like, it's almost even, you could say the same thing going on with Chase right now, which is, how much can your memories be shuffled around, and how much memory can be poured in, and you are still yourself. If you're having just stuff poured into you.
Is it bad that I was gonna say that, Kazu's Japanese, he should be down for almost anything?
This is true.
Well, he's also Japanese, and therefore privacy is a very important thing to him.
Huh.
It kind of reminds me of Land of the Lustrous, which is a much better show.
Yeah,
Like,
you know
how much do our memories define us? How much do they define our personality? What happens when we lose our memories? What happens when our memories are replaced? Those are all interesting questions that Land of the Lustrous does a much better job at exploring in its 12 episode run than Genlock does.
I don't really. I mean, like I've said before, I'm over the whole interesting question that nobody knows the fucking answer to thing. I'd prefer to just know what the fuck the answer is at this point. It's like, oh, what if fucking androids are like sentient or whatever? Who the fuck gives a shit? I'll still kill them because they're fucking robots. Fuck
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
In the words of Seth Tanzanich, that sort of philosophy is for them Greek homos.
Basically.
Do androids dream of
Guess
electric
I'll
sheep?
die.
No, but they bleed all the same.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Why do you wish death upon me and my people high-powered?
Oh, no, I don't wish death. I'm just
joking.
shit posting.
Yeah.
It is. Oh god, just the whole exposition dump. Put a complaint we had a while back. I don't remember which episode it was. We were talking about like Val's age and the absurdity of her like having done any gender. Actually, did we address that on the podcast, or was that when I was talking about the show with Raymond? Because I think he brought it up.
No, we didn't talk about that, but let's talk about that. Okay, so
So
one,
she is
we don't know
young.
how anti-aging technology has developed in the future. It could very well be that there's some sort of crazy ass plastic surgery that's happened in the last 60 years
Well, no,
that
like
enables
that wouldn't affect your brain though, and she has to be young enough to be Genlock compatible.
Oh, that's right. Well, fuck it.
And it's just like it takes years and years just to transition once. Like it's this.
Well, we don't know what
absurd-
kind of crazy ass hormone pills they have in the future.
I mean, we have
And if they
giant
have
mechas. I have a feeling that they've just like either they don't care about like the technologies needed to either advance or alter the rate of conversion conversion practices. There, I don't know the actual terminology, but that whole process I feel like would be drastically different in the context of Genlock's world. So it's kind of anyone's guess, really.
It sounds like something
Well,
you get done over the weekend, like getting a new tent.
Yeah. Well,
It
like
sounds
and
like
if,
you just sit in the back to tank, and the next thing you know, you're whatever gender you want
Yeah.
to be. Which
Well, the thing
Well,
is,
that I mean, you have so many like different like hologram avatars that people can use even long distance. I wouldn't be surprised if Valentina had the chance to explore maybe how like they would present themselves and as whatever gender they do like vary upon on the spectrum at any given point in their life. So I mean, maybe maybe
Well,
Genlock was
the
a universe
thing
where they
is-
could better explore that part of themselves.
The thing is, if that's possible, then it would be a much more normal thing. They're doing that thing that Rooster Teeth shows oft do, which is they create this unique, or not so unique in this case, concept, but then don't adjust the rest of the world building to accommodate for that. Like in I have Red versus Blue on my brain because I'm working on those videos right now. But like in Red versus Blue, which is a terrible example because it was mostly a gag series at first. Um, they kind of set up like this war against the Reds and the Blues, and then set up the fact that it's all just a sham, and whoever Vic is working for is actually behind everything, and that the freelancers are somewhat involved in. All of that is from season 2. But it doesn't. It never really adjusts everything to accommodate for that twist. Where like, oh, where do these guys come from? How did they get here? Uh, if the Red and Blue War is such a sham and Project Freelancer is so like famous, then how come these guys aren't already in the know that they're sim troopers? The answer being it's a gag series. Shut up. But then you get a more serious show like Ruby that has the Grimm, and the Grimm feed off of negative emotions. Yet the people in society, in cities and stuff, aren't built to accommodate for that.
Why is it not
have-
equilibrium where you get shot if you show any emotions and there is state-enforced autism?
or just
why aren't they
medication.
just dumping all of the drugs in the water?
Yeah, or just like the We Happy Few setup where they just have to take a pill every day to like keep the Grimm away. And then in here you get this the gender transfer thing where everyone is accepting of it, but they all still think it's weird and like kind of like an out there concept, when if it's really that easy, then these people who are accepting should be like, oh, so you're just one of you're just someone who does that, okay. And then
Cool.
the only people that would have problems are people like maybe Kazu and certainly people in the union who are just like adamantly against the conception of something like that. But that doesn't seem to be the case, and it's just weird. It's just a weird detail that I think would have been better off not addressed at all.
Yeah, basically.
Like, it gets, like, maybe, like, one head nod from Cammy, like, oh, hey. You look different.
Like maybe just have Val be someone who's suffering from gender dysphoria. Have her be someone who is female but wants to be a man.
By the way, the friendly helpline is still at 1-800 ain't nobody give a fuck about that gay shit. So, if you were a loved one, yada yada yada.
God. I'm fine with them being gender fluid. I actually at least like that. Outside of the whole like virtual VR simulator thing, I mean, it's at least been like a few subtle nods, and it hasn't been a topic that's extremely stressed. It's like, oh, hey, they lean more towards like the male spectrum end of the spectrum. Okay.
Do they
Like-
though? Like right now, but apparently it's supposed to be like this thing where it's like flipping back and forth. I don't understand it.
I just think that
It
if
seems
she
like a
was-
more
if she-
gradual progression with Valentina's case. I mean, in the dancing scene when they were mind melding with Kazu, I believe. I mean, I think their model was the male variant.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I'm chill with it. It seems like it seems like
Like-
they fluctuate more over a period of months or years even. So I'm down.
Yeah, like I'd be fine with it. The way they are portraying it is as if they are portraying someone who hasn't transitioned yet. Like, I think if she was someone who just had like gender dysphoria or felt uncomfortable in her natural body or whatever the case may be, it would not only be more interesting, it would make a lot more sense. It would fit better with what we're actually shown, and it would be more respectful to people who do suffer from gender dysphoria and those kinds of issues and are transgender or whatever the case may be.
Well, And also, I think it's more so they're either non-binary or gender fluid rather than maybe purely trans. I
Well,
could be wrong there.
trans is
wanted to
trans is a catch-all term in this case.
I
Ah,
guess.
I did want to bring up the fact that also, I mean, with the scenario we're suggesting, where it's more so gender dysphoria rather than having the means to immediately transition. I mean, they're in the context of a war. I mean, body modification is not a priority. It would be just a rather cosmetic thing that no one's gonna bother with, like the equivalent to like plastic surgery or hormone shifts. So when like you're trying to fight for your life, so it's kind of like they don't necessarily have the means to do so in a war where there is a sense of scarcity and priority. And that can be a very difficult place for them to be, like, as far as their own identity, processing like, hey, who am I in terms of who I physically am, who I perceive myself as, and just that would trigger their dysphoria, but that doesn't have to be
And
the defining trait of them, but it could be touched
and
upon.
here's the thing: I would go with that explanation, except for the fact that there is nothing to indicate that they are actually in any kind of war that causes that sort of thing to happen. And I think I don't know. I kind of blame that on the way wars have been in the modern age. We haven't experienced a war that was an existential crisis since World War II, so people don't understand what that kind of war is like. And that's what this kind of war is supposed to be. But we still have people just in their
Yeah,
homes
we haven't heard of
going
like
on.
sugar rations or
Yeah.
Like,
or like, oh, I could only fill my car up on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
this should be like a total war economy where all labor, all aspects of society are driven towards a war effort.
A total war
Yeah,
economy.
I mean,
Iron Mountain's Delphi technique. That was fiction, Snake. It only existed on paper.
I'm
Metal
just gonna say
Gear.
dummy thick and we're moving on.
Oh no, I
Can't
love
hear
it.
you. Can't hear you over the clap of your ass cheeks.
I've actually been watching Matthew Matos's series on Metal Gear earlier today, so funny that popped up. Um, but I think they would have been able to portray it a lot better had they actually done their research and looked at real wars instead of using Evangelion and Gundam as their main sources for
Well,
how
hold up.
wars
Gundam
work.
is even better than the fucking. Like, don't fucking disparage Gundam here, okay? Jesus, man. Like, Gundam shows, like, fucking horrific uh scenes of just, like, devastation wrought by war, okay? Like, you don't drop an entire space colony on a fucking planet and have everything being hunky dory. The Earth is like a polluted mess in Gundam and stuff like. I mean, like, it's real shit. This is like not Gundam at all.
Yeah, I think part of that
You,
would also be alleviated if we saw more of what they're fighting for, because again, even with these backstories, we don't have very good motivations for anyone to be doing what they're doing. Like Chase and Yaz have decent motivations. You can kind of draw some conclusions about Val with the lip service that they play to her backstory, but like, there's still no reason for Cammy to actually be here or be doing what she was doing before she got recruited to Genlock, or for Kazu to be doing what he was doing before he got recruited to Genlock, or any reason for this war to even happen, or we still don't have any idea what the Union is, and we only have one episode left. And unconfirmed source, well, we won't know until the finale comes out in a few days, but I've heard it said that they will not explain anything about the Union until season 2. And a little bit of a soapbox here. Fuck that logic. Fuck people who do that. This is my biggest problem with modern day television and anime and all of that, is that TV used to be way better when the next season was not guaranteed. When they had to make each season defined and definitive and conclusive while leaving things open for future seasons just in case they got the green light, but stuff that like the audience wouldn't be too upset about if that season never came. People just TV studios and TV producers get way too comfortable with the whole 5 seasons being confirmed before you get one fucking episode produced. And it's killed a lot of shows for me the last 10 or so years, and this is one of them. Genlock's one of them. If Genlock actually just tried standing on its own as a single season, it would not have these problems, and I would be much more okay with it.
Is Netflix to blame for this?
No, this way predates Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix just tapped into that vein. This is going back to like Lost. I think Lost is to blame. The success of Lost anyway. That was the first time that I started noticing it. Yeah, like X-Files is a better show than Fringe, because Fringe was like, oh, we'll just handle that next season, that extremely important bit of information next season.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, you can also see some shows kind of transition into that state. Like, if they
Well, I mean, I've said before that like
Not-
if you reach 100 episodes in a show, then you're basically on. Then that means that you've hooked the audience so much that you're basically untouchable, and
Yeah.
that you will only end when uh the creators want you to end. Which is why most shows that go more than 100 episodes tend to kind of go out on their own terms and rather the studio's terms.
which can be a good thing as well.
You know, this honestly kind of makes me think of like how far they planned in advance for this volume. I mean, for this series, like, because I mean, whenever Ruby dropped it, and I know I'm breaking one of my rules here, but I mean, Monty at least had like what an outline at the bare minimum for what 10 volumes.
Allegedly, there's
Allegedly.
a lot of debate with the way that certain
I have a
volumes
feeling
have been
Monty had
written.
more so raw concepts over actual plot, like
Yeah.
aesthetics, loose character themes, but not really cohesive
He
plot.
probably had a series of sales pitches, and that was the outline that they're working off of. If I was
Yeah.
gonna gamble money,
Yeah.
Well,
This-
his outlines were probably more like set pieces, like, ooh, and then this happens, and then there's this big fight in the school, and then there's, they go on this like journey, and then they have a big fight in the other school, and then they go to Atlas, and there's a big fight in that school. Like,
Yeah,
that's
like
probably the
another-
outline that they were actually working with, to be perfectly
like
honest.
as someone who's like more visually oriented, like I can kind of see where like raw concepts, until you have an actual cast of characters that you really know and like know how to throw into an arc and feel for, you're gonna be conceiving like more so aesthetics, like scenes that you want to portray, but you have to tie them together, and sometimes Ruby is product of a lot of wish fulfillment ideas that doesn't always have a cohesive theming or structure to it.
Says the girl who's been working on a bande dessinée but hasn't even outlined it yet.
I'm kind of saying that more so, hey, working with raw concepts is something that I'm more
Well-
familiar with than actual plot. It's
Well, and
Kinda
and I
see
can
that.
speak from experience that no amount of a detailed outline survives the first draft.
Yeah.
There's things that I had outlined for my fan fiction years ago that were going to happen in that first story that I've never utilized because it's just like, oh no, that was just a dumb idea. Cut it out here, and then I've never repurposed or reused those characters or those concepts because I just like didn't like them after a second thought. And I think that's a good way to write. Like, begin with the end in mind, but when you're liking certain dynamics or certain characters and you want to focus on them more, you're the writer. Do it. Make it organic. Like, make it come a lot more naturally. That's my writing advice. I'll have like certain scenes planned out, particularly action scenes.
That's definitely your
But-
logic with just act casually.
Yeah. I write just act by the seat of my pants. I make that up as I go, because I want everything to feel like very natural, very like, okay, because this happened, because that happened, and so on and so forth. It's a very easy way to write. That's what I mean when I say certain scenes write themselves. When I say that, it means that they've already put the groundwork in, where all they have to do is start pulling the trigger on things that they set up, and they'll have a satisfying scene. And it's once you've done that yourself a few times, it's really easy to see when other people are doing that.
Would you say you need to pull the devil trigger?
I mean, that was a really forced Devil May Cry reference.
Yes, it
and
was.
I'm
I loved it.
into it. I'm into it. I like Devil May Cry. So sure. What else is there to talk about?
But
in this
anyway, the
episode?
point is you actually have to start before you
Yes.
can finish,
Yes.
which is
Yep.
what my jab at Lily was.
Yes.
No, that is valid.
Uh,
But as far as the planning that's gone into this, I think it has been very planned out because it seems way more cohesive. It's just boring. It's just not a particularly interesting plan. I can see
Yeah,
everything.
that's the weird thing is there's like there's an inverse problem that versus what we're used to on our podcast where oh yeah and they're entertaining on but do we know why they're happening? No, most of the time it should just happen. This everything feels like it's been planned out, but it's like fucking boring. It's like going to the same museum for the fourth time and they haven't changed any exhibits.
And it's not the good kind of museum like the Museum of Natural Science. It's the boring, like, railroad museum.
Hey, the Railroad Museum is fun.
Not the one,
I mean,
not
just
the one in
remember-
Wild.
Just remember, steam engines is catnip for white people.
I mean, yeah,
It
Steve,
really is. Oh, jeez.
I've never heard that before.
That's
true.
from regular car reviews.
Y'all bring it.
It's just
my
pathetic
internet's
given how
cracking
many
up.
white people like steampunk.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Am I still coming in clear? Yeah, okay. I'm in the green now. I was in the red there, and I'm in the red again. God, this is why I fucking
You can
hate
hear it.
this is why I hate recording, because I never know when my internet's gonna just die. It gives me anxiety.
Don't worry about it. Just go. Just do.
So I'm trying to think of other things that to talk about, because I guess we could roll into our final predictions. Like, the only prediction I have is that Nega Blackman is gonna die. Julian Chase is going to
Probably.
is going to defeat him. I also suspect that it's going to turn out that a lot of the supporting cast is going to still be alive. Maybe a few of them are gone, but I really feel like if those characters are actually dead, there's no reason for me to jump into season 2 of this show.
Well, here's the thing: is that like, who cares about most of them, though? Who
But
cares
like
if most of
the
them?
general, and even the cheesy side character that helped Cammy get the plans, like even he was like, you know, he
He's
earnestly
alright.
cares. I think, yeah. I mean, he was chill. He was nice. I mean, Dakota Fanning was kind of meh, but everyone didn't deserve a bullet, so to speak. Like, they were more than tolerable. They were like, they're decent, passable people.
Yeah, but were they like necessary, useful? Not really.
Oh,
I'd at
what's
least
y'all's
hope
opinion?
that General Chonkla would pan out as someone decent.
Well, I mean, the thing is, when you're killing off a character, you got to be really careful, because you're basically killing off any potential that those characters had to develop and become interesting or integral later on. Like, as much as I did not care about any of the characters that died, aside from like maybe Miles Mexican, they all did have integral roles and dynamics and stuff with each other and with the Genlock crew that I don't want to be stuck with just the Genlock crew going forward. I really don't want to be stuck with Matt Hullum's whiny ass voice or the doctor's wife's face in place of Miles Mexican, Chad Thundercock, Dakota Fanning, and the rest of the crew.
I'm kind of surprised the Doctor even had a wife to begin with. Like, I wasn't expecting like Ja to be his wife, maybe a partner, but not.
Or Paramore.
Only you
That's-
get a Russian paramour.
That's a good one. I like it.
It really is, to be honest.
No, it's not. I lied to get you to reveal your. Haha! I
Oh.
am the ultimate winner.
Oh, fuck you, Coop Pan King.
I mean, but
Hey, he's winning too. That's not an. Everything's coming to fruition on that front.
That's
Fuck you. You know you like paramour. It's a fun word.
It is. I was
And,
lying a third.
And even if those characters do come back, I'm still a little iffy on whether I'm going to give a fuck about season 2 of this show. It's just High Power's right. It's boring. This is a very dull show. There's not a lot of heart in it. Like,
There's a lot of money in it, though.
yeah,
If Cammy was center stage, I might care more. Like, Cammy would be a good, not quite like, same as Ruby Rose, but she has the same energy that's like, I want to see you win. I don't want to see your teeth kicked in, but Chase isn't interesting. Okay, he's a good stand-in for, Michael...
yeah,
Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, fuck, I forgot his name. Basically, it just, she has the allure, and she's just a more, like, bombastic character that's interesting to see. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just generally kind of
and
bored by Chase.
I like the little moment that they have in this episode when they get the new mechs, and Cammy's like, "It me," when they're like, "Why does it have rabbit feet?" And she's just basically like, "I'm a furry. Didn't you know? You didn't react to the fact that I used my fursona back in the internet episode."
Oh Jesus! Oh man!
You see, that would have been the more entertaining thing. Is Valentine be like, "Wait, you're a furry?"
Yeah.
Don't make me take Cammy out back and put her down.
And Cammy is like, "Yeah, that's what happens. Those are the things you notice when you're not the center of attention. I don't like Val. But she has this cute little moment with Chase as well, that gave me this kind of like brother sister vibe, and it made me smile. It was the first time I genuinely smiled since the Ace Combat stuff from the first episode, and I was just like, so this is it. This is the best you got.
I mean, here's the other thing too. Do you think? I will say this though. Yasmin seems to be lusting after the BHC, the big holographic cock, with Chase.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
quite obvious. I don't know what will come of it. It's like that's also what has.
Pixels is what's going to be coming of it.
I think like it's kind of a fucked up move actually on her part, because like for all she knows, the previous romantic interest there is dead now, so she's just gonna make her move. I mean, props for her fucking balls, but still.
Hey, in Love and War,
that's hilarious.
in Love and War, you take no prisoners.
Pretty much.
In Love and War, you mourn no dead bodies because you can be the warm one.
Damn. That's the most edgy
Or
shit ever.
the warm one in his VR chat with all the sensitivities turned up.
Yeah. Hey, there's room in that weird stasis pod for 2. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if he's got the plumbing for it.
I'm reasonably certain you could fit a person in.
Maybe if you chop them up a little bit.
High powered. Strap-ons exist for
But it's not the same.
lesbians and cockless men make do.
So, there anything else to talk about? Because I've addressed everything I wanted to address, and we talked
Let
about
me
all
think
the
here.
plot.
I'm gonna speak up as a dumb bitch who thought this was the finale, and I'm like, okay, it's a more muted one, but it's an eventuality of okay, they are prepared. And I'm like, oh wait, there's more. This is a doozy. Oh dear. I gotta wait with bated breath for another episode and hope they don't fumble it. Oh jeez,
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun.
Oh god, just imagine the finale's amazing, and we're like, yeah, we'll give this next season another chance.
I'm not dying to. Like, it's decent, but I'm not dying to. Like, I
We'll
forgot to keep
see.
up with.
We'll see.
But if the viewers want us to do it, then I guess we might, maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Donate to
I don't.
the Patreon.
Set up
I'm
a
down.
Patreon
Yeah.
tier, and it's basically okay. You gotta donate this much to get access to.
Oh damn!
You gotta
Nobody
you.
at
Uh,
all. That's
yeah.
a bad way to do it.
You gotta donate like if my Patreon is above I'm gonna say $100 a month. By the time Genlock season 2 comes around, I'll make podcasts on that as well. We'll keep this train going. Uh, that's my ultimatum.
I'll do thumbnail art for each podcast.
Ooh, that'll be fun. That way I don't have to like just use these stock images of us.
They'll be shitty MS Paint doodles with.
That's that.
Oh, if that's the case,
I mean, we
can do
saw
it.
Media's magnum opus. I can't beat that.
I'm still. Oh man, there's some chibis. I'm waiting on a kitty for. One of them is me with the script. Like I'm looking off the script, and I know just one of these days she's going to end up drawing a Coop chibi, just because of how much he's on the podcast and how much people have liked him. He deserves his own chibi. Lily, you do too. You do too, but you can also draw your own. So
Exactly, but on
anytime
Media,
you
something
want.
exceeding. It's not cursed, but it's terribly bland, and it's called Genlock Chibi. Ruby Chibi is punted, and Genlock Chibi becomes the new staple, much to everyone's melodramatic meh.
Oh Jesus, no!
That
I will
reminds me.
speak it into existence.
That reminds me. The deadline for potential Chibi season 4 is fast approaching, and they haven't said anything about it yet. So.
Oh
So
I
it's
mean,
looking
honestly,
like
I
that's not
wouldn't
gonna
mind.
happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind too much if it didn't, though, because the last one was kind of just
Bad.
yeah.
no. Well, that sucks. I do have a soft spot for Chibi because like we had 2 solid seasons, and like I'm just still very partial to it. Especially because I would get the chance to see an Ilya Chibi, and that would be adorable. Especially in her new outfit. That would be adorable.
Agreed.
Yeah. Hopefully that's why it's taking so long. Like GB seasons like 4, 5, and 6 all take place in Haven instead of Beacon, and it's all like kind of in the context like all in between those episodes when they're all just like chilling out doing nothing. That'd be
That would
fun.
be an interesting.
But see, this is
Oh my
this
god,
is how dull.
Cinder
This is
Chibi
how
in her new thought outfit.
yeah. This is how dull Genlock. This is how
Ooh,
dull
yes.
Genlock is. This is how dull Genlock is. We're talking about the part in Ruby Volume 5 as a positive potential for Chibi. So if that's all the final thoughts, are we ready to wrap up?
Yeah,
Let's
pretty
shut her
much.
down.
Alright, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so that you get notified of my future videos. I actually recorded 2 other videos today, so I'm a little tired. I recorded my next Red vs. Blue video, which will be out Tuesday, and my next Ruby short subject, which will be out before then. Probably, maybe even before this podcast is up. Depending on how motivated I get. And on top of that, consider supporting my Patreon. Read my fanfiction, Beyond, on fanfiction.net. It's halfway through the final arc, so 13 more chapters left, and it'll be done. And follow me on Twitter at EA Mediocrity 4.
I do have one parting statement.
What's that?
Commission Kitty Hiroshima for some awesome chibis. Her art is god tier.
Yes.
They're adorable.
Apparently, I'm getting one, and I can confirm that they are pretty cool. Also, you've probably already seen them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're
They do
looking. I mean, if they're watching the screen, which why would they? This is basically an audio podcast. They
look
are,
at your screens, people, and commission her.
Yeah, look at your screens. The two in the middle, that is Chibi Me and Chibi High Powered, as drawn by Kitty Kirishima. And then one of them's a jackalope standing in for Coop, and the other one is a picture of Lily Drew standing in for Lily. I don't even know what picture that is. It was like one of the first ones I think you shared on this Discord.
It was just a doodle of like another receipt. I should probably have you update that eventually because this is an old one.
Yeah, but yeah. So everyone have a good night, and we'll see you next time for the Genlock finale.